Most people think that to change their lives, they need to focus on big things. But a renowned habit expert named James Clear discovered a different approach. He knew that real change comes from the cumulative effect of hundreds of small decisions, ranging from doing 2 push-ups a day, waking up 5 minutes earlier, to resisting the urge to check social media briefly. James Clear calls this the atomic habits. Hello everyone, in this channel, I create book summaries from various genres, and in this video, I'm summarizing one of the popular books written by James Clear titled Atomic Habits, Small Changes with Big Impact. So, watch this video until the end. Easy ways to build good habits and eliminate bad ones. Every human being wants to maximize their potential to achieve success. One way to do this is by building good habits and eliminating bad ones. However, the challenge lies in making this happen because atomic habits offer a solution to make it easy, efficient, and proven. From this book, you will learn several ways to build good habits and eliminate bad ones by understanding what atomic habits are and the 4 laws of behavior change. Interesting things you will learn include what atomic habits mean, how habits shape your identity, the 4 laws of behavior change, the ultimate rule of behavior change, focusing on small habits within a big system. Since 1908, the British cycling team was not considered a significant contender in the Olympics and various championships. But everything changed in 2003 when a new coach, Dave Brailsford, was brought in. He didn't do something significant. He only improved the system by 1%. But when done across the board, the result over 10 years from 2007 was that the British cycling team won 178 World Championships and 66 Olympic gold medals. Many people believe that change must be significant to have an impact. However, in reality, just by focusing on 1%, change can occur. It may seem small, but if you do it consistently for a year, you can be 37 times better than before. Habits are like compound interest, growing exponentially. It's like when you see ice at -3 degrees Celsius, and you heat it, you won't see any change until it reaches 0 degrees. When it goes from -2 to 0 degrees, nothing happens. Similarly, when it reaches 1 degree, nothing happens, but at 0 degrees, the ice melts. This phenomenon at 0 degrees is called the breakthrough event in creating change. The breakthrough event makes change tangible. A common mistake people make in creating change is focusing on goals, not the system. So what's the difference if you're a coach? Goals are like winning championships, while the system is about how you practice every day, recruit assistants, and manage players. The system is more important than goals, but it doesn't mean you don't need goals. Atomic habits focus on the system, where people who struggle to change their habits often do so because they have a flawed system. If nothing changes, nothing will change. James Clear. Habits shape identity. There are 2 reasons why building good habits and leaving bad ones is challenging. The first is changing habits, but with the wrong target, and the second is trying to change a habit in the wrong way. To avoid targeting the wrong goals, you need to understand the layers of change. The outermost layer is changing outcomes. The second layer is changing processes, and the third and deepest layer is changing identity. Outcomes are what you get, processes are what you do, and identity is what you believe. When it comes to starting the change process, there are 2 ways to approach it. The first, and most common, is to focus on what you want to achieve. The alternative is change based on building identity-based habits. For example, if you find 2 ex-smokers offered a cigarette, the first type will refuse, saying, "I'm trying to quit smoking," while the second type will respond, "I'm not a smoker." Both responses essentially convey the same message, but the quality of mindset between them is clearly different. True behavior change is a change in identity, not process or outcome. Now, your goal is no longer just to read a book, but to become a reader. Your goal is no longer to run a marathon, but to become a runner. Your goal is no longer to master a musical instrument, but to become a musician. In summary, changing identity is done by changing habits. The most practical way to change who you are is by changing what you do. Every time you learn to play the violin, you affirm that you are a musician. When you exercise, you declare that you are an athlete. When you motivate employees, you are a leader. To form a new identity, there are 2 simple steps you can take. First, decide what kind of person you want to be. Second, prove it to yourself through small wins. The primary reason habits are important is not just that they lead to better results, but because they can change your beliefs about yourself. In the end, habits become something significant because they make it easier for you to become the person you desire. Literally, you become your habits. For simple steps to build habits. Habits are behaviors repeated frequently enough to become automatic. Habits are formed when you encounter a new situation in life. In that situation, the brain tries to respond. Neurological activity in the brain becomes decisive at certain times, but decreases as habits form. In simple terms, there are 4 steps to how habits are formed. 1. Cue. 2. Craving. 3. Response. 4. Reward. These steps are the essence of how habits are formed and follow the same sequence each time. Habits begin with a cue. This cue triggers the brain to initiate a behavior. These cues point to a reward that will be obtained later. Early humans paid attention to cues related to basic rewards such as food, drink, and shelter. Modern humans predict secondary rewards like money, power, exams, and personal satisfaction. The second stage is craving. This craving or desire becomes the driver of every habit you have. Without desire, you have no reason to do something. The third step is the response. This response is what we actually call a habit. This response can take the form of action or thought. Ultimately, the response produces a reward in the form of the 4th step. Cues are related to seeing rewards, cravings are related to desires for rewards, and responses are related to obtaining rewards. The reason people seek rewards is for satisfaction and a sense of accomplishment. All these steps work repeatedly and are called the habit loop. Of the 4 stages, they can be further divided into 2 phases: problem and solution. Cue and craving fall into the problem phase, while the rest go into the solution phase. The problem phase occurs when you realize something needs to change. The solution phase occurs when you react and achieve the change you desire. All behaviors are driven by the desire to solve problems. The processes discussed above are part of a framework called the 4 laws of behavior change. This consists of a set of simple rules for creating good habits and breaking bad ones. Poverty is not having too little, it is wanting more. Lucius A. Seneca and Ana Lydia Motto. Increasing awareness of behavior. The behavior change process begins with awareness. You must first be aware of the habits you have before changing them. By identifying and announcing the habits you have, you increase your awareness of the subconscious habits. You can use the 4 laws of behavior change as a means to increase awareness of your behavior. The first law of behavior change is about making it obvious. 2 common cues to do this are time and location. These variables are incorporated into the implementation intention formula, which consists of behavior plus time plus location. Another way is stacking habits, which involves adding a new habit to an existing one. Habits are closely related to cues because every habit starts with a cue, especially prominent cues. One of the strongest cues is context. Habits are easier to build in a new environment with new cues because you don't have to fight against old cues. The second law of behavior change is making it attractive. Essentially, people are more likely to form habits in attractive situations. Something also becomes more attractive when there's a feedback loop. This results in the release of dopamine, which motivates a person to continue. The opposite of the second law of behavior change is making it unattractive. The biggest reason for this is making predictions ahead of the habit. These predictions lead to various feelings, preventing the formation of a habit. Therefore, focus on the benefits of avoiding bad habits. Making behavior easy and satisfying. The third law of behavior change is making it easy to do. This can be done through practice, not just making plans. Also, focus on action, not emotion. Understand that the amount of time spent training a habit is not as important as the repetitions you do. It's okay to start small. What matters is consistency. To make it even easier, follow the 2-minute rule. When starting a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. The more often you can ritualize the beginning of a process, the more likely you are to focus and eventually move on to bigger things. The opposite of the third law is making it difficult. A modern solution to this problem is using commitment devices. With these devices, you lock future behaviors with choices available in the present. Locking behavior can be done by automating your habits. The fourth and final law is making it satisfying. Satisfying experiences tend to make you more likely to repeat them. This is because the human brain tends to prioritize immediate rewards over delayed rewards. In other words, quicker rewards make you feel satisfied. To make habits stick, you must directly experience success, even if it's small success. Maintaining good habits will always be associated with a feeling of satisfaction. This satisfaction comes from a sense of progress. Maintaining habits can also be done through simple monitoring or visual measurement. The opposite of the fourth law is making it unsatisfying. People are less likely to repeat bad habits if they are painful and disappointing. The ultimate rule in behavior change is that behavior followed by immediate reward is more likely to be repeated, while behavior resulting in immediate punishment is more likely to be avoided. Book conclusion. Atomic habits is a concept that explains how small changes in daily habits have a significant impact on life. It refers to the effort to build and change habits effectively and with proven methods. Habits shape identity by changing beliefs about oneself. This means that by adopting specific habits, one can gradually change their identity, such as going from a casual reader to a dedicated reader. There are 4 laws of behavior change taught: cue, craving, response, and reward. These are the core steps in building good habits and eliminating bad ones. The ultimate rule in behavior change is that behavior followed by immediate reward is more likely to be repeated, while behavior resulting in immediate punishment is more likely to be avoided. This underscores the importance of satisfying experiences and maintaining positive habits. Thank you for tuning in to the Voice Book channel. We will be summarizing various books for you, so you can stay informed even if you don't have time to read them. See you in the next video.